Hello, welcome back to the Goalball Super League tournament number 3. We've got the third match of the day, the second match in Hall A. We've had the first round of fixtures completed within Hall A and B. The first game in Hall A was the score of 11 goals to 1 to the Fenland Tigers against Winchester Kings. This game we've got coming in Fen Tigers against the Allstars Angels. We've got the Allstars Angels being on the left-hand side of the camera perspective, and the Fen Tigers being on the right-hand side of the perspective. We'll go with the Fen Tigers lineup to start first. We've got Dom Roper, Joe Roper, number 1 and number 4. We've got Daniel Bettis being number 5 as the player coach. He's not going to see too many minutes on the court, but he's there as backup for when needed. And number 6, Sigurd Lund, the Danish international. So we then are switching across to the Angel All-Stars. We've got Frank. I'm going to butcher his surname. He's a Dutch lad, Van der Kief. Let's go with that one. Jacob Hare, Carly Holder, and Harry Bambridge. They are coached by Peter Doyle and Ella, with Chelsea Hudson on the bench as staff as well. Chelsea is not playing this tournament. She has featured a few times. We've got the roar from the Fen Tigers. They We're just going through the Ice Age checks for the second half. So just to remind you, we now have a switch of sides. The lineups are going to be the Angel Allstars now being on the right hand side of the camera, and the Fen Tigers are going to be on the left hand side of the camera. The score is 8 goals to the Angel Allstars, 7 goals to the Fenland Tigers. It looks like we've had no substitutions currently at half time. No, it does actually look like we've got Harry coming back onto this, coming back onto the court. So it looks like we've got Harry for Jacob in the second half. So the lineups are going to be Harry with the Angel All-Stars, Carly Holder and Frank, and on the Fen Tigers we've got no substitutions, so we still have Joe Roper in the centre, Dom Roper and Zigert Lund. The ball is going to be with the Angel All-Stars to start this second half. If they could score with the first goal of the second half, that'd be a dream start for them, pushing out to a 2-goal gap. A big bouncing effort. So Harry slotted into the right-hand wing. Frank has opted to go into the centre, and Carly Holder has went out to the right-hand post, the left-hand post, apologies. And we've still got the same lineup for the Fen Tigers. Dom Roper on the right, Joe Roper in the centre, and Zigert Lund out on the left. Zigert Lund comes across to the left-hand post, where the ball's just been blocked out by Dom Roper. He picks up the ball, takes it across to his left post, sets himself just on the inside of the post, ties the game up to 8 goals to 8. Really nice smooth effort there. He's taken steps off of his run up to make sure he's legal. He's releasing the ball around the 3-metre line, but it's underhand cutting it. Can they push themselves back into the lead? Harry tries to cut the ball back across the centre of Joe Roper, passes the ball out to Dom Roper, bouncing effort, sends it out to the left with a long cross-court effort, finds out of bounds by the team line. Ball is with the Angel All-Stars out on the right-hand post. Moved across to the left by Carly Holder. Blocked, straight line shot effort by Dom Roper. Ball gets dropped in. Dom opts to step out onto the right. Zigert Lund picks up on the right hand side. Smooth effort. Does not beat Carly. She pushes the ball out of bounds with her wrists. Passes the ball, not to pass the ball around the centre of Frank, trying to beat Joe Roper It looked like he was opting to go for a quick return, decided to opt out of it and set himself up on the back of the goal. Bouncing effort, trying to beat Harry across onto his left-hand post. Frank backs him up really well in the centre, sends his feet, sends the ball out of bounds. Ball gets dropped in with Harry now on the right-hand post. Sends the ball across the centre of Joe Roper. He gathers it really well, passes the ball off to his left to Zig. Zig takes the ball out of his hands, rotates on the spot, sends that ball across Frank in the centre, passes the ball out to his left-hand side of Carly. Rotating effort, trying to beat Dom down the line. Dom gets his chest to the ball, sends it out of bounds. He's not waiting around, he gets the ball up. He's trying to bounce that ball across the centre. Frank again, quick return, long ball there from Frank. He needs to adjust himself by moving from the wing into the centre. You've got a couple metres less to play with, and when you have long levers like him, the ball will carry. The ball is with Zigertlund. Can he? He thought he pushed the lead out to 9-8. He does give away a high ball penalty, so now it's a Uno reverse card being played. Can the Angel Allstars push the lead out to 9-8? Ball is with Frank. Blocked. Big blocked there by Zigertlund. He read that ball beautifully. He timed it and he sent that ball. It didn't look nice, but it was a beautiful effort to block that ball. Ball is with now Dom Roper. Can he settle the game down? Sends that ball out. Finds the legs of Harry. He doesn't come into the pocket enough. Frank doesn't react to the ball and pushes the lead. The lead is now 9 goals to the Fen Tigers, 8 goals to the All-Stars. They have got their first lead of the game. A second lead of the game, apologies. They tried to equal it back. Zigertlund bouncing effort against Carly Holder. She picks up the ball on her left wing. Bounce. I get involved in the action. I have to kick the ball back to the court. It gives me something to do. I've got a bit of pent-up energy commentating this sport. Ball is on the right-hand post. Fake run up there by Joe Roper. Really sells it. And Dom Roper follows it up with a cross-court effort. Doesn't find the back of the net, but ball gets passed off to Collie. Joe picks up the ball, gathers it well, passes it off. Really nice exchange to Zigertlund. Finds the back of the net. It's such a smooth releasing effort there by Zigertlund. He really finds the ball well. So that pushes the lead out to 10-8. They've got a 2-goal gap now. It's a bit more of a comfortable gap than one. Joe in the back centre. A substitution by the All-Stars Angels. Harry makes way again for Jacob. They're interchangeable, this pair. So they need to lock in defensively, Angel All-Stars. They've got a real good opportunity to make their game theirs. So the ball is now with Carly Holder out on the post. Apologies, the ball was with Carly Holder. She pushes the ball out of bounds on her rotation, finds the right post of Dom Roper. Comes inside the right post into the pocket, trying to beat the centre. Finds the feet of Frank. He deals well with that ball. Now Jacob's second addition into the game, bouncing effort, trying to beat Joe Roper, deals with it well, passes the ball off to Zig, back centre, bouncing, testing effort there by Zig against Frank, passes the ball again off to Carly, out on the left hand post, finds the legs of Dom Roper, saves the ball, keeps it inbounds, right hand post, bouncing, trying to beat Carly, finds her chest. She can deal with them every day. Again, we've got small battles within this game at the moment. We've got Carly against Dom trying to beat each other down the line. We've got Zig trying to beat Frank in the centre, but Jacob is now going to be involved. Frank blocks the ball. The ball gets called to all ball over. It's going to be dropped in on the left-hand post. Dom is over, sets himself just inside of the left post, bouncing, trying to beat. Jacob finds the feet of Jacob, blocks the ball out of bounds, keeps the game alive. 8 goals to the Allstars, 10 goals to the Fen Tigers. Jacob picks the ball, comes around his centre, so he sends the ball out to his left, but he sends the ball long. So it's a real unforced error there. They're trying to push the limits of the game, trying to keep the ball legal, but this time he was unable to stay successful in that. Zigertlund is back centre, ready and waiting. Can he push this goal out to a 3-goal lead? Sends it straight down the centre. Jacob deals with it well, waits for the ball to be under control. So it's still a 2-goal gap for the Fen Tigers over the Angel Allstars at present. Bouncing effort by Carly Holder, beats the feet of Dom Roper. He scuttles back and saves the ball off just before the goal line, gets the ball in his hands, gets it out, across the centre. Timeout call there by the Angel Allstars. Really good effort there by Dom Roper to keep that ball out of the net. Just to make everyone aware, the clock that is showing on the screen is not the game clock. We have 8 minutes 18 left. Bouncing effort. Really nice bouncing effort there. It looks like they've made a lineup switch for the Allstars Angels, but they needed to readjust their lineup. Carly has switched into the centre. Jacob is out on the right hand post. Frank is now onto the left. So it's a Carly Frank switch. The Fen Tigers did expose on that shot, so they've got a 3-goal lead now. The score is 11 goals to 8. Just as I was finishing that, Frank comes back in there with a goal, cutting it across the feet of Dom Roper. The score is now 9 goals to 11. They've pulled a goal back into it. They've re-established, cut it down to a 2-goal lead. With Frank out on the post, they're not letting me finish. Every time I finish saying the score, another goal goes in. Zigertlund cuts the ball across from his left post into the pocket between Jacob and Carly. Jacob's with the ball, bouncing effort. They give me a chance to talk. So Joe Roper picks up the ball, gathers it well. He moves out onto his left. Throws it against Jacob. Jacob's trying to quick return battle against Zigertlund. He's trying to keep the pace of the game going. Beats Carly Holder under the feet. Jacob wasn't backing up enough there. So the score is now 13-9. Bouncing effort there. Ball's passed out of bounds there. They didn't think that they had long enough to get that ball. Ball's dropped in. Blocked over. Ball's going to be dropped in on the left-hand side of the Fen Tigers team. Big effort there by Ziggert Lund from the left-hand side. Beats Carly Holder under the legs of Carly, under the arms of Carly Holder. They're really pushing that gap out now. It's a 5-goal lead in really quick succession. This Fen Tigers team really senses blood in the water, and they're trying to put salt in the wound. Bouncing effort against Carly Holder. She deals well with that one. She would take that with a bit of confidence. Ball gets passed out to Jacob. High ball call there by Clive, by Jacob. Apologies, that's by. So it was Frank that gave away that high ball penalty. So Frank sets himself up on the back centre. Ball gets blocked. The ball gets out just by the post. So it's a really nice, smooth, quiet effort there by Ziggert Lund. So it stays with a 5-goal gap at the moment. Cross-court effort there by Jacob. He's trying to stem the bleeding. Bouncing effort across the left-hand post. Coming back across. Tries to beat the Ziggert Lund, but backed up really well. Dom and Zig have switched wings. So they're really they're chasing Jacob around the court at the moment. Another high ball call. We're seeing unforced errors now there by Frank. He's had a really good game, but the game's now getting away from him. So they're trying to push it to try to come back into the game, but they're pushing it and they have to keep it legal. Currently they're not. They need to keep it legal. Ziggert Lund sends the ball out to his left-hand side, finds the back of the net. The goal is 6-goal gap now. A 7-goal gap now. 16-9. Carly Holder back centre, bouncing effort, trying to beat Joe. Picks the ball up, quick return. They're trying to get this mercy win. They're trying to establish themselves at that 3rd place within this league for tomorrow's fixtures. Balls with Ziggert Lund, finds the back of the net. It was an open net. Jacob did not find his orientation back to his spot. It was an open net for Ziggert Lund just to slot the ball into. Ball is with Jacob out on the left-hand post, bouncing effort against Joe Roper. Everyone's at the back centre. Passes the ball off to Dom in the back centre. Big bouncing effort, trying to beat Frank out on the right-hand post of their perspective. Frank picks up the ball. Another bouncing straight shot, but it finds itself out of bounds. Ball is out on the left with Dom Roper. Fake run-ups, fake noises, bouncing effort. Timeout call by the Angel Allstars. So we've got timeout calls there. We saw a really tight contested first half. We saw the Angel Allstars going into the second half with a lead, but the second half has been all Fen Tigers. They've come alive in this second half. They've locked in defensively and they've really pushed the limits offensively as well. Ziggert Lund has had a magnificent second half. They've not been able to contest with the pace, and that's the thing about this Fen Tigers team. You can stay with them for the first half, but can you stay with them for the second half? Because they are a second half team which they just blow teams out of the water with the effort and the power. Really nice bouncing effort there. They've switched Frank out onto the wing. They were trying to hide where Jacob is, but they've just given away. Bouncing effort against Ziggert Lund. swooping effort. He dragged his body and it jolted a little bit, which sent the ball out of bounds. Ball is with Frank on the left-hand post. Trying to beat Joe Roper, sends the ball out of bounds. Dom Roper has come across to Ziegler, takes the ball back across to his left post, just behind the back centre, rotates it. He's trying to beat Jacob down that line. His feet were covering that. Ball is with Jacob out on the left hand, the right hand wing for the Angel Allstars. Bouncing effort, trying to beat Joe. Beats Joe, but Dom is backed up. Really quick return, trying to get the ball, keep going. Finds the back of the net. Dom Roper, really intelligent play there, backs up his brother Joe with a defensive stop. Knew and could hear that they were out of position, so sent that ball straight back down there. Found a couple of bobbles and found the back of the net. Ball's out on the right hand post with Jacob again. He's really trying to force himself into the game as well, because if things aren't happening offensively, you've got to do something. If things aren't happening defensively, you've got to do something offensively, and he's trying to establish himself into this game again. The ball is passed out. Joe didn't want to wait around with the ball. Gets passed back down to the Angel All-Stars. Frank takes the ball from his left post to his right. Ziegler, smooth bouncing effort straight across the centre. Carly deals with that well. She opts to have the ball back centre. Bouncing effort against her body, finds and backed up by Dom Roper again. The tempo of the game right now, they are really trying to put the screw down and put the foot down on the gas against this Angel All-Stars team. Really good bouncing effort there, across to Joe Roper, passes the ball off to Ziegler, finds the back of the net, cuts the ball back across Carly. It's a really awkward one to stop. Really nice cut across effort there by Ziegler. Ball is out on the right hand side with Jacob. Tries to beat Dom. Dom sets himself back against the goal, rotating, bouncing effort, trying to beat Jacob down the post. Jacob's feet finds the ball, pushes it out of bounds. Frank is opting to stay at back centre. He's waiting to see what is happening. The ball gets passed off to him. Back out onto the left. There is a space on the left pocket for him, because he opts to send the ball out to the Fen Tigers left. Ziegler, smooth effort, straight across. It finds the pocket. No reaction, because we've had such a second half there by the Fen Tigers. They have turned this game around. They only conceded one goal in the second half, and they have scored 11 goals in this second half. The game has now been called done. 19-9. That is a whole different second half to what we saw in the first half. So the final score, we've got Fen Tigers 19 to the Angel All-Stars 9. They